Making a difference in the world, personal growth and accomplishment, seeing the true value of one's beliefs. These are some of the most effective sweet spots and intrinsic motivations for today's entrepreneurs. This is a cautionary tale about one entrepreneur's daring journey through frightful misfortunes, where the only way out was facing the new paranormal.
My guest today is an entrepreneur, or a entrepreneur, if you will, who has taken control of his own destiny and who has vowed to influence the destiny of others. Please welcome Matt Nakamoto. Matt, what kind of entrepreneurship are you involved in?
Well, I do I do in-person personal training, but I'm trying to transition everything to online. And I do digital marketing, I do stocks. It's kind of the entrepreneurship I'm about right now.
How did you get into this line of work?
Honestly, what it was mostly that got me into entrepreneurship. I was assistant manager at a nightclub, artistry. For me, I kind of saw the opportunities that was there as far as like having your own business. Like I realized I could be the best manager in the world and be expendable, or I could create my own business and be my own boss. And then from there, I'd always worked out, and I know the managers at almost every UFC on the island. I know all the managers, friends with them. And they were just like, "Hey, bro, you ever thought about being a personal trainer?" And I was like, No, not really, but I mean, I'd consider it, I guess." And then they were like, "Yeah, you're a really good person and you have a way with people, so you could give that a try. You could have your own like business and stuff." And then ever since then, the balls kind of started rolling. I've just been figuring it out as I go.
Sounds like you've got what it takes to be a leader. Can you talk about a few client success stories?
To be completely honest, what I see more as, because it does take a while, you know what I mean? Like those programs that like promise you 90-day results, or like I can help you get six-pack abs in 90 days. Like, yeah, you can. However, you're gonna have to be from in my experience, you're gonna have to be extremely committed. Like you're gonna go 4 to 5 days a week, spend an hour or more in the gym, change your diet, work on your sleep patterns, drink a lot of water, pay for a professional like expert. You know what I mean? So for me, I've seen like my clients, like one of my best friends, he got extremely strong. So if he could not bench 25s, for example, like the 25-pound plates, he struggled with that. We've been working out for like almost 4 or 5 months now, and he's pushing the 45s. So that's one client success.
Good for him. My average leg day is doing diddly squats.
I trained a female in a friend of mine. She moved to Florida. She was going through like a lot of partying issues, and that was her problem here. She like didn't like partying. She wanted to just, because it was just repetitive. So she moved to Florida in the beginning of the year, started doing the same thing over there, and then reached out to me like, "Hey, Matt, you look like you're doing good. Like you're not partying. I don't see your snaps or your Instagram stories anymore. Like you're just always working out and doing cool stuff. Like, are you a trainer? Because it says like personal trainer in your bio." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm a trainer now." And so she went from like really partying like at least almost every other night to now she's going on walks and jumping rope, doing like yoga, working out every single day. And like she feels so much more confident about herself. She's like able to set healthy boundaries, say no to people that like are gonna push her down the wrong path. To me, that's way more success than the actual, movement, or like the actual like strength that like she got. You know what I mean? To see the personal development that took place in her is way more, to me, it's way more meaningful. It's kind of why I got into the field, to be completely honest with you.
I resigned from my job as a personal trainer, as they said I wasn't strong enough. I handed in my 2-week notice. How does one stay motivated to achieve great things during a pandemic and the new paranormal?
but that's a really good question. Honestly, this year I have been through so much. I was with a girl for almost over a year. I was with a girl for over a year. We just recently broke up, and you know what I mean. Before in the past, I would just go resort to going out to the club and finding some new girls or whatever. Now I'm like, no, let me just put everything I have into my business, personal growth and development, because I can't be teaching other people about you know, taking care of your body and taking care of your mind if I'm not going to do the same thing. So that was one thing that was a personal goal, like getting sober, completely not like just not smoking weed. I used to have a medical card, and I still have an active medical card, but I don't even smoke weed. I don't drink. I don't hang out with toxic, negative people who are just going out to parties and doing the same bullshit all the time. Like I actually like unfollowed over 1,000 people on my Instagram just because I'm tired of seeing someone smoking weed or taking snaps with their tongues out, dancing in the club or whatever. I'm like, you know, I don't want to see that. Like, it's just like, if I want to see that, I can watch YouTube. I can watch like Cardi B and her WAP videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good.
Did you know that Cardi B has a sister that's a personal trainer? Her name is Cardi O. Oh, I kill myself.
So for me, I personally believe in God. I always struggled with believing in God. Honestly, like I used to think that because I had a very rough childhood and a very rough growing up, and I used to really struggle with like there can't be a God, because if there was a God, why would my mother have left me? Why would I not have had a father? You know what I mean? Why did my grandparents push me so hard? Why did I have to like lose my grandpa at the age of 21? Like I used to always just think like I used to really struggle with that. And then um I went like in full disclosure, I went to jail, and it was for a charge that I hadn't even committed. Like I didn't even like I got charged for having a gun, and I didn't even have a gun. And I was like, okay, so what is gonna happen? Like I literally felt like, okay, this is the lowest of all lows for me. Like I've done other wrong things and have not gotten away for like I have not gotten in trouble for it. Now I'm getting in trouble for something that could really be the end of my life, and I didn't do it. Like I sincerely didn't do it. And so I like in the most humblest way, like just like got on my knees and was like, okay, God, if you're real, show me you're real. And I promised to God the very next day, I get pulled in to like a different room, a different cell or whatever, with these really intimidating looking dudes. They come up to me and they're like, what are you in here for? And I'm like, robbery in the first degree. And they're like, really? You come with us. And I've been thinking in my head that I'm about to die. Like, I'm literally thinking I'm gonna die. And he comes, and I get like offered to join a Bible study. I get offered to join a Bible study, and right there, the light bulb kind of went off. Like, yo, there must be a God. There must be a God, because I literally just prayed for proof, like that this is real. So when I think about it, I've always kind of like I always think back on that, like that there is a God, and for people who believe, he always gives you like you have two like for me, I look at it like I always have two choices in life: to believe what I want to believe, or to believe that there is a higher power, a higher force in work here. I see all the negativity and things going on in the world, and personally, what good would it do for me to get involved with that? You know what I mean? I think about it like God literally shut the whole entire world down, and like, you know what I mean? Like people who are like really biblical about like, you know, the ending of the world type of stuff, right? Like they talk about like Red Seas and locusts and all these crazy things, right? And like when I think about it, I'm like, yo, that's exactly what's going on in the world. And like for me, I'm realistically thinking that like this is God giving the people who believe an opportunity to do something different. You know what I mean? Like I never used to journal. I never used to read books. Like literally I've journaled every single day. We've been since the first day that Governor Ige locked the state down. It's been 189 days.
Oh.
And I know that I've written every single day I've written a journal. I've like from the first day, and like people don't even know that. Like people talk about they're bored during this pandemic. And I'm like, yo, how I don't understand how you're bored. There is 1.5 million things that you could do. Read a book, learn to swim, learn to juggle, learn how to do a Rubik's Cube, anything. There is 1.5 million things that you could do. There is no reason why you should be bored. You just don't have a nightclub to go to. That's the reason why you're bored. And like, for me, this is just what I think about, is that like, I could stay the same as I was 189 days ago, or I could choose to use every single day to the fullest and try to strive for something different, strive for something better. That way, when things do open up again, people will look and be like, wow, in that time I went straight and did the same thing, did nothing. While I just went to a whole nother level. Because when I think about it, we've pretty much went the whole year. You know what I mean? Like the year's pretty much done. And like the amount of things I was able to accomplish, I'm surprised.
With New Year's coming up, what advice do you have for some folks who wish to start a New Year's fitness resolution?
The thing that I would say is most important, honestly, is if you're going to make a fitness resolution or any resolution in general, is to remember why you made that resolution. Because if it's, I don't want to feel this way anymore, then that feeling of not wanting to feel that way anymore should honestly, well, it was for me, it should honestly be enough to not stay in that same mindset of, okay, I'm going to do something for a day, I'm going to do something for a week, a month, and then not see it through. You know what I mean? Like, really remember how it felt to be wherever you're at. You know what I mean? Because I didn't like where I was at. And like, now when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm stoked. I only wish I started sooner.
Oh, how exciting! Now, Matt, it's time for the lightning round! Favorite movie?
The first thing that's going to come to mind is honestly Lion King.
Favorite city in the US besides the one you live in?
My favorite city other than the one I live in would be New York.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
It was definitely talk to animals.
Favorite childhood sport?
My favorite childhood sport was definitely basketball.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good a cook are you?
I don't mean to like toot my own horn, but I like to think that I'm pretty good at cooking. I'm going to say like a solid 8 or 9, honestly.
How many push-ups can you do in one go?
50.
Say a word in Spanish.
I could say 2 words. Mi amor is my love.
Te quiero como a un amigo. That means I love you like a friend in Spanish. How many hours of sleep do you need?
8.5 hours, but that's just me.
Name a word that starts with the letter Q.
Quads.
What's the last photo you took on your phone?
The last photo that I took was probably like a selfie.
Thank you, Matt, for that wonderful conversation. And remember, at 12 midnight on New Year's Eve, make sure your left leg is in the air so that you start the year on the right foot. My friends, I must ghost you for now. Until next time, goodbye.